Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wentz. We've been around, but we're back. I'm just going to say that. A lot of you that have not been with us, perhaps wondering what the heck I'm talking about. We did have our fourth kid over the course of the last week, and um, losing sleep like crazy. Like we forgot. It's been 3 years since our oldest or our youngest is 3 years old, and it's been 3 years since we've been through this phase. And my wife and I are both like, wow, this is how it is. So that's that. Anyway, it's good to be back with you on the broadcast side of things. Yes, we are all sleep deprived, but we'll get through it. There's a lot of active weather coming our way, and I couldn't help but say, hey, let's do a little special Thursday night edition of Region Weather Live to kind of walk through what we're expecting here in the forecast as we go through next week. As we turn from October to November, it's going to feel like it outside. So we're going to take a moment here. We're going to run our open. We'll let some people join. As always, in these Facebook Lives, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can go ahead and ask them. I'll get to them at the end of the broadcast, and then we'll get you on your way. But the big point here is to get you informed with what's going to happen here in the forecast, and we'll do that here after we run our open. We'll be back with you in just a second. Our Thursday evening edition of Region Weather Live, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. We've almost made it to the weekend. We've got tomorrow, and then we're there. All right. How about that? I want to say hi to Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Susan's with us. Good evening to you, Susan. Linda, thank you very much. Mark's headed to Terre Haute this weekend. What day, Mark? I know you're heading there, but what day and what do you need forecast-wise? Let me know. We'll look at it. Derek's with us, doing well. Yes, Derek reminds us that we changed the clocks. We fall back the following weekend, so not this weekend, following weekend. Can't wait. Sunsets at like noon when we do that. Let's see. Okay, so Mark, you're leaving Monday, or leaving in the morning, coming back Monday, so we'll have to look at the weekend forecast. Looks rainy as of right now, Mark. Not an all-out washout, but it looks, I would guess Saturday night, Sunday is going to be your rainiest with that. Just looking at some of the model runs here off the screen. Don Z, always thanks for the updates. Looks like you need some rest. Thanks, I too. Everything's backwards. Listen, we have our son. He's 6 days old now, something like that. He's wonderful. He's very laid back and chill, and just loves to look at the contrast. Like we were outside today, and we have a big pine tree, and he was just staring at that because it's dark and the sky behind it. All of our kids have loved looking at contrast. They just stare at it forever. But he's such a good kid. He's just, things are backwards in terms of the sleep around here. And I'm trying to help my wife, but she's doing most of it, right? She's feeding him at night. I've got the other 3 kids to manage during the day, get them off to school, all that stuff. So we're trying to find that good balance right now. But anyway, it all kind of came together where I was able to do a little broadcast tonight. So this is my getaway. So if you guys have questions, keep them coming. No, just kidding. Terry's with us. Good evening to you, Terry. Kim, thank you very much. Yes. The good news is I'm on paternity leave. So it's really, they have a nice paternity leave package that we have through our work. So I get 6 weeks off, which is really nice. It's much needed. It's not a vacation at all, but it's great family bonding time, which is good. All right, let's get to the forecast here. Let's see. Tom says, in the last 2 weeks, I've collected 6 inches of rain in my backyard gauge in Munster. Will this wet pattern continue? Tom, boy, you've been at the top end of that. Most areas anywhere from 2 to 3. Oh, well, I don't know about last 2 weeks. I'm going last week or so. So that could be. I mean, I believe you. That's pretty crazy. Joey, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel as well. And Gail, good evening to you. All right, let's jump in. As always, briefly, this is bonus material for them, but want to thank our sponsors, tigerplumbing.net. They come out for free. They're doing $30 off still for region weather folks. Wonderful plumbers in Northwest Indiana. PSA, our public service adjusters. If you have any insurance claims whatsoever on your property, whatever that happens to be, it could be a whole array of things, right? They serve as the go-between between you and your insurance agency, all right? Why wouldn't you go through your insurance agency? Well, because they try to give you the minimum amount of money, right? And PSA will come in, they're licensed, insured, they take pictures, they get you the most for what you need for your claim. They're wonderful, 5-star reviews across the board. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. stjudehouse.org, our nonprofit around domestic violence, not a pretty issue, right? They're doing mobile advocacy. They have been since last February, where they go and meet victims, and they'll if anyone needs help around that, promise me you'll go to them or direct someone to them. It's stjudehouse.org. They're doing great work around helping people and saving people out of bad situations. Finally, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They've got new Jeeps on the lot. They've had them out for a month and a half, 2 months now, but they've got all sorts of stuff ready to go for winter in terms of four-wheel drive. Why do we need to think about that? Because our first snow's in the forecast. So let's take you through that, shall we? All right, let's get into it. So big picture pattern right now. You can see what's happening on the weather map. It's a very late October kind of map. We bring the jet stream into the lower 48 this time of year, and that usually spins up bigger storm systems. We don't kind of have the doldrums kind of weather we have in August and September where not a lot's moving, where systems are stuck in those months. Now they're moving fast, right? So a couple of things that we noticed. We've got a steady diet of moisture coming out of the Gulf, right? That's why we've had periodic showers over the last few days. We're dealing with showers again tonight. Those showers will continue overnight tonight as this stream continues out ahead of what is a frontal boundary just out towards our west. And you can see this is the most vigorous Montana. This is the snowstorm that they're getting in the Dakotas and the Rocky Mountains. They're getting some real good snow, even a little ahead of schedule. And there's some really cold air with this. There's temperatures that a lot of places didn't get out of the teens today. That's very cold for them this time of year. It's a pretty compact storm system. So you've got that. And then the thing that I noticed when I look at this is everything out towards Western Canada and the West Coast is coming down, right? It's sinking from north to south. That tells you you've got some kind of pattern switch going where you've got cold air diving into the Western US. A lot of it's already there, but this is kind of a reinforcing shot. And then everything kind of goes up in the east. So that's where you draw your jet stream ball. Yeah, we've got more rain around here. It's just been showery this afternoon and evening. We've got a pretty good area of rain that's going to be moving in here next couple hours. So some light to moderate rain possible with that. This more than likely clears out for the morning rush hour tomorrow. So I don't really anticipate it being too wet tomorrow morning. But what we'll watch is this system out towards the north and the west. This is where the cold air is. So we're still kind of in the mild side of things now, and we're going to remain in the mild side tomorrow as well until this portion of this front reaches us, actually moving. And once that reaches us tomorrow afternoon, I do expect kind of a stout line of showers to move through. And then the wind, you'll feel it, is going to change temperatures quite a bit. We're going to go from the 70s, likely down to the 40s pretty quickly late tomorrow. So if you have Friday evening plans, that's something we'll need to contend with. And I mentioned on the radio, our radio broadcasts that we're on, 1039, 1055, 107.1. We do a talk back every single morning where we kind of talk about the weather pattern. And I mentioned on that this morning that the cooler air is kind of in baby steps around here. So we're going to get a good hit. We're above average now, right? We set records yesterday. It was warm today. We're going to go back to just a little bit below average for the weekend. So it's going to get much, much colder around here compared to where we are on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. But then another front comes in here early next week. That's the one that brings the hit of like winter-like air, okay? So kind of baby steps. It's not all at once, but we are going to start to change things gradually. And that second one brings us our snow chance for Halloween. Okay, so I'm going to take you through everything. I'll give you my thoughts on it. But here we are. I want to take you through tomorrow first. We'll go through tomorrow night. So here's your shower activity that we have right now with that wave. Notice how we kind of dry out. Here's your morning rush hour. We're between this initial wave that's moving through right now. And then here's that front that we were talking about back towards the west. This front has the temperature drop that's going to take us from 70s down into the 50s and eventually 40s, okay? So let's time that out. You can see how there's a little line of showers that develops along that. I certainly agree with that. That's typically how these cold air intrusions arrive. They arrive on a stout little line of showers where you'll get darkest skies all of a sudden. You'll have a downpour. The winds will turn real gusty. then the rain's done, but you've got gusty winds, and you go outside and you're like, wow, it just turned colder outside. That's how this is going to go. Timing of that is going to be tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Give or take a couple hours. My best bet would probably be 2, 3, 4 o'clock. But we'll see. Again, timing on this can change because this system is still swirling its way back in western North Dakota right now. Again, and it's going to move pretty quickly here. So we'll see. But there you go. Tomorrow afternoon, be prepared for a quick hit of rain and then a temperature drop. So tomorrow evening, if you have Friday evening plans, you're going to need a jacket because we are going to turn cooler around here. We have lingering showers tomorrow evening. They should be pretty much out of here by tomorrow night. Saturday looks okay. I know some communities do have trick or treat on Saturday night. And as of right now, it looks okay. What we're going to be watching on radar is rain moving at us quickly from the southwest. Okay, so how quickly does that get here? That's a big question. It's going to be chilly and blustery on Saturday, so keep that in mind. So front goes by. There's that front Friday, and notice how the wind is out of the north. This is now a cool, crisp air mass that's over us on Saturday with gusty winds as well. And then you see this next system coming at us. What is that? So let's dive into where that is now. We'll pick it right up where we left off. We're looking at, that was high-res model solutions that we were just looking at, so we have real good details. This is a little bit less high-res, right? Because we're going more global model, which goes out 10, 15 days, okay? So just that's the reason for the change in the look of these models. But here you go. This is now Saturday afternoon. Notice how we're dry. We're waiting on this system down to the south. Basically, this front's going to go by. We're on the cool side of things. The front will stall down towards the Tennessee Valley, and then it'll form another area of low pressure that travels along that front. That will bring another wave of rain in here, okay? So it's kind of the same system. The front comes in, stalls, and then you get another wave that finally pushes the whole things out. That's very common. So that next wave is forming Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. So here's Saturday evening. Notice the chunk of rain we have moving in from the southwest. If you do have trick or treat with the kids Saturday evening, again, it looks okay right now, but we're going to be watching rain down to our southwest. So how quickly does that move in? Does that speed up in terms of the modeling, or does it slow down? All right, that's what we'll be keeping our eye on. So it's not a guaranteed dry Saturday evening, but as of right now, timing looks like we're going to slip in some dry hours. So we should be okay. By Saturday late evening into overnight, we're bringing rain in here. It looks like a washout Saturday night, like overnight while we're sleeping. Sunday morning, we'll have leftover rain around. And then by Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, the front is now kind of stalled back over us again. So remember, it went by and it's coming up in a wave again. So Sunday, we're going to keep rain chances around. We may get a break after that morning rain moves through, but then there looks to be more rain that kind of comes back. This is now collecting along the front that's going to bring the real chilly stuff to us, okay? So there's Sunday evening now. We're still in the rain. And then by Sunday night into Monday, we now have cold air in place. So 30s to near 40 for highs. But we'll definitely be in the 30s, even upper 20s, waking up Monday morning. And we're just stuck in the cold on Monday. No snow Monday. In terms of, we're not to Tuesday yet. In terms of lake effect behind the system, I don't see a lot. The reason why the wind flow, the fetch over the lake isn't going to be very conducive to that. So I don't see much of a lake effect potential with this initial Sunday into Monday cold. Typically we would if we first turn cold, but the winds don't align that way. Where they do align, and this is interesting, and I don't want to overplay this because I actually haven't seen this really hyped up a whole lot. I've seen, like the Weather Service, National Weather Service, for example, has chance of flurries in the forecast for Halloween, all right? We'll give it a couple more model runs, but this looks impressive to me. So here's the setup. We've got cool air in place Monday, all right? Not expecting any snow around here on Monday, but Tuesday on Halloween itself, there's a stout area of low pressure, all right? This thing is it's north of Alaska right now. It's going to drop south into areas, northern Canada, Yukon territory. It's going to sit there for a couple days. And then as this system on Sunday and Monday goes up the East Coast, it'll help to pull it down into the U.S., okay? That's kind of the visual on this. And it looks pretty stout. And what I mean by stout is it's got a compact area of low pressure with it. There's some decent wind with it. It's bringing in another reinforcing shot of cool air with it. And there's some moisture with it, some Pacific moisture still with it. So all that being said, this is Halloween, how it plays out on the Euro. Notice how we're cold, but snow free to start the day. This is midday. And then by trick or treat time, if you have that, this is afternoon into evening. The Euro has that low rotating right over us. So that would be, I mean, especially with this real cold air aloft, that would be widespread kind of like bubble-like nature to the radar of convective snow showers. So snow and some squalls, and then it quiets down. You've got gusty winds, but you get a squall and then it's done, and then a squall and then it's done. That's what it looks like to me. All right. Um, are we all cold enough for snow? I think so. I think that cold air aloft is going to help us. Surface temperatures will probably be upper 30s to near 40 degrees. So you would say, well, Matt, how are we going to get snow if it's way above freezing here at the ground? I think our air up above us is going to keep it a snowflake all the way down as of right now. I don't want to get too into the weeds in terms of the details of this, but these are my thoughts right now on this. That's kind of how Halloween evening could go, is we're going to have some snowflakes around here. Wednesday night, we get a brief band of lake effect. You know, is that rain snow mix? Certainly could be. Is it all snow? Certainly could be as well. And then that's out of here, and we'll gradually start to warm up a little bit more, probably back into the 50s eventually later next week, but no more 70s in the forecast. So that's that. I do want to show you two more model runs. Okay, so that's the Euro. That's the one I would always lean. The GFS has a very similar solution. That's really the only reason why I'm talking about this, because there's good consensus on this, even though this is Halloween. I mean, we're talking several days away. Here's your GFS. This is the latest GFS run. It doesn't have as much of a low pressure coming in, but it does have a decent trough. It's not as well organized, so you'll notice that we just have some snowflakes around, all right? And then it drags it out of here. Here's the other option. This one's more impressive. This is the Canadian model, which we don't use a lot, but I do like to look at it. And I get made fun of for that, but I'll tell you, this thing, to me, the Canadian model is often the ice or the tiebreaker between, if I'm leaning two models, whatever it happens to be, I'll look at the Canadian and I'll say, okay, if Canadian's leaning that, then, you know, this is what I'll lean. So I do look at it. So here's what the Canadian says, and this paints a real good snow. I'll show you here. Here comes this low. Notice how it's got a really well organized low pressure on the Canadian model. And that brings initial hit of snow. This is Tuesday afternoon. And then you can see how this thing just kind of curls in with lake effect potential beyond that. So either way, it's going to turn much colder around here. Overnight lows starting Sunday night into Monday, but then especially Monday into Tuesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're talking 20s, like mid 20s. So widespread freeze. I mean, it's just going to be cold. All right. It's going to be much colder than what we've been dealing with over not just last couple of days, but really over, you know, last month or so. This is going to be a pretty decent shot of cold air, but it is November after all. So there's that. I don't want to make too big a deal about it because it's time for this. It really is. Just briefly, I'll show you what the models are saying in terms of snow, because it's just fun to look at. It doesn't mean it's accurate. This is the Canadian. This is probably the snowiest solution. And this is showing some accumulation. All right. You know, are we going to see accumulating snow? You know, I don't anticipate this being a big snow, but we're going to have flakes in the air. And if the Euro verifies, we would have, you know, some squalls that could put down a quick coating and then it melts. All right. But the GFS has anywhere from half inch to maybe an inch, a little bit better as you get out towards the South Bend area. The GFS doesn't have much. And then this is the Euro, which doesn't go that far on that run, but we'll take it a run further here and show you. And then I'll answer your questions. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask them. So this is the Euro, and you could see similar anywhere from a trace to maybe an inch or so as you get out in LaPorte County. So it's here. So what we're going to do is keep an eye on Tuesday. I think Tuesday is the most interesting day. Again, we've got some waves of rainfall leading up to that. Temperatures will step back. Friday afternoon, Friday night is first step. And then the next step is Sunday into Monday. So Sunday night into Monday, okay? So there's that. All right, so let's answer your questions. Hopefully that's helpful in terms of kind of what we've got going on next week weather-wise. You're probably going to see a lot of it, if you haven't already, on social media with people, you know, kind of blowing it up. Arctic blasts on the way, whatever it happens to be. This is certainly manageable, but we could be seeing our first snowflakes of the year out of it starting on Halloween, okay? So just I want you to know that. All right, let's see what you got. Maxwell says, hey, Matt, do you think tomorrow will be the last 70 degree of the season? Maxwell, that is a great question. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I feel like maybe we'll squeak out a 70 degree day in November. at some point. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to say no on that. Mark, you're welcome. Absolutely. Susan says, say goodbye to the flowers. Yes. Anything that you want to keep, bring them in. Don't cover. Bring them in. You got to bring them in at this point. If you have like canna lilies, for example, we don't, but just a flower that comes to mind that's tropical that you've had outside, now's the time to dig up the bulbs and bring them in for the winter, because you can bring those back out in the spring. But yeah, it's time. It is. Things are going to start to look real sad around here. They really are. Maxwell, you're welcome for sure. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. That's good news. So hopefully we answered all that. We'll be with you. I'll keep you updated on what's going on in terms of next week. But first things first, we do have the rain around tonight. Tomorrow morning for the rush hour, I think we're going to kind of lose the rain. It'll be scattered around, but I think we'll have a dry morning commute, and then we'll turn towards the afternoon where that front comes in. I don't want that temperature drop to catch you guys off guard tomorrow late in the day, okay? So as you're heading to work in the morning, plan for your temperatures coming home to be on the chilly side, like 50s falling into the 40s, okay? Linda, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll get some sleep around here, but I just wanted to give you guys some information that I thought would be handy tonight, okay? All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Thursday to join me. I appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you as we go throughout the weekend, okay? All right, thanks, everybody.